I've struggled with eating and overeating since I was a kid, really, and it's really about being addicted to food. And I think that eating addictions are unlike drugs or alcohol because they can really start in early childhood when you're exposed to the food, and it's more difficult to beat them because you have to eat every single day.
In order to keep up with the addiction, right?
Right, exactly.
What are some of the challenges you've had with dieting, though? I mean, because you've been on a bunch of diets, why don't they work for you?
At times I've been on diets that have been way too restrictive, and at one point in middle school I was even anorexic for a little while. So there's been points I've been way over what I should weigh, and there's points I've actually weighed too little.
Yeah.
And it just does not work to be too restrictive.
And Pete, this is all too familiar to you, right?
Yeah,
Pete Thomas, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Tell us about your story, and it sounds very familiar to his, doesn't it?
You're absolutely right. You know, at my youngest, I struggled with my weight because my mother struggled with mental illness, and we were on the go. We were transient from one city to another to another. So my struggles with food started because of a lack of food, because of homelessness, really that trauma that happens at an early age. And one of the things that I try to share is your emotional health is essential to your physical health. And so we have to go back and look at what happened when we were at our youngest, when these problems start, especially when we get to our size, this super obese category.
And you went on Biggest Loser, and
that's right.
Maybe tell us how successful you were in that endeavor.
Absolutely. On the Biggest Loser, I lost 83 pounds in 62 days. So that was a great jump start. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, man, that's big time.
And then lost 102 pounds at home for 185 pounds total, and was able to keep the weight off. And like I say, I set a goal to keep the weight off when the cameras were off. And that meant I had to deal with three areas. I had to deal with my mind, I had to deal with my mouth, and then I had to deal with muscle. So I had to deal with all of those different things to make the transformation permanent.
And your body and your mind, you know, Charles and Pete, and you guys know this, are hardwired, right? You're talking about something really important. If you have the experience as a child of something, of deprivation, your body will compensate, and the moment you get the idea where you're going to run out of food, your mind will overcompensate and eat more.
That's right.
Very important to understand that, because you know, people who are trained to what? Finish your plate will always finish your plates. And parents out there who are listening, it's so important that the precedent you set for them. What I mean is that if you tell them to finish your plate, then guess what? Every time a child listens to that as they grow up to be an adult, they finished your plate. If you're going to say that, that's okay. Just make sure there's a reasonable amount on the plate, not pile them up with a bunch of stuff, especially unhealthy stuff, and then ask them to clean their plate. So it's really important. And the behaviors that we can address as kids really stay for us for a lifetime, right? And you were talking about this as a child, as a young man now, but as a child you're having the same problems, weren't you?
Exactly, yeah, definitely. It's yeah, it's really about finding a balance with food between what is healthy and what tastes good. And you really need to find things that are healthy that do taste good. Because when I was restricting on my diet, I was all about losing weight, eating low-calorie foods, and I wasn't, you know, finding recipes and things that actually, you know, taste good.
Yeah, deprivation don't work, right? That's the thing. Deprivation just does not work. Pete, you have a book out there. There's a winner within you. And tell us about that, and what's some tips for lasting change, not just to get that Instagram picture.
That's right.
But really lasting change.
Absolutely.
Tell me about
I like
that.
to say tips are for kids. What we need to do is we actually have to make changes, Charles. And if you want to make changes in your life, you have to change your life. There are different things that we have to actually do on a daily basis because of where we've come from, because we're so large and we've struggled with our weight for so long. And so for me, it starts when I get up in the morning. There are certain things that I have a proclamation that I say to myself. One of the things I say is I feel sexy, strong, and great.
Sexy, strong, and great, baby.
Maintain my weight at 238. You know what I mean? So I start off my day saying certain things, and then there are just certain laws that I live by. I learn to master my mind, manage my mouth, and multiply my muscles. And it can be done. I want to encourage you. It can be done. I'm here to help you with it in whatever way I can, but we can do it together.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it.
All right, absolutely. Great.
Hey, great of you, Peter.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So he said a lot of things in there, but one of the things that Pete's taught me before, you know, people who are used to eating a large amount, you can't, and you said this really well, Charles, is that you can't then ask somebody who's eating a lot of quantity, then you just go to a tiny quantity and say you're weak. It's not really that, is it? It's expectations and what your body's used to. You've trained your body for all this time. So what he is very good at is showing you can have the same quantity, just replace it with healthier stuff. Thanks, gentlemen, for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure. Yeah.